Hey everybody, John McClellan here at ATX Hot Sauce. That's atxhotsauce.com. Make sure you subscribe below if you like the video. Today I got a little special presentation here. It's the juice part 2. 2 months ago we started this fermentation in a gallon jar. Juice is one of our best sellings on our website at atxhotsauce.com. Be sure and check it out. It's kind of our flagship sauce, and it's got a bunch of great things in there. And obviously we have our recipe book to make sure everything is consistent on everything we do. We've got habaneros, turmeric, pineapple, ginger, coconut, garlic, cardamom, and onion in this. It's absolutely fantastic. We're going to finish it off with a little bit of white vinegar. This fermentation has been going for a little over 2 months. It gives it a little bit of funk, gives that really good flavor profile. So let me show you how we make it. All right, one of the first things we want to do is we want to check the pH balance of this fermentation. We want to be below 3.9. I have a feeling it's going to be probably around 3.2, 3.3. So let's go ahead and take the lid off. Now all the white stuff you see along the top of here, that's actually coconut that we put in there. Grated coconut is actually floated to the top. We've got our pH meter here. And what it does is it kind of tells you how acidic something is. The lower the number, the more acidic it's going to be. Anything below 4.6 is going to not promote bad bacteria in there. Hopefully we'll be around 3.2, 3.3. So let's get this turned on. Here we go. And what do we got here? Wow, 3.1 on the pH means it's very acidic, very shelf stable. We use the fermentation process instead of vinegar, right? There are a lot of cooked hot sauces. You see the #1 ingredient is going to be vinegar. Ours is not the #1 ingredient because we add acidity by doing the fermentation, which adds shelf life and just makes it yummy because you get to taste the fruits and vegetable on it. So yeah, 3.1, you gotta love that. Make sure you always wash your pH meter off. Make sure you always store it in the storing solution. If the tip dries out, it's gonna go bad and you don't want that to happen. All right, we're gonna transfer everything over from the jar into this bucket so we can use this immersion blender. It's kind of big, right? Probably too big for what we're doing here, but we use it for our big 6 and 7 gallon fermentations when we're making hot sauce. It's the perfect size. We'll just be careful with it on this. So first thing we're gonna do, we've already taken the press plate out of this. Make sure you take anything you've used as weights out of the fermentation. All that good brine in there. And here comes all the fruits and vegetables, the pineapple, the cardamom. And I'm gonna use the vinegar in here to kind of wash out this jar. Just a cup of vinegar per gallon that you make. So if you make a couple of gallons of it, do 2 cups. So when we make a 6 gallon fermentation, we actually use 6 cups of vinegar. But our recipe book, very important when you're making fermentation, especially when you're fermenting, that you have a book you write everything down in. You don't want to make like 3 fermentations and wait a month or 2 months. Taste one of them, it's fantastic, and you have no idea what you put in it. It happens to me all the time. That's why I use a good book. You've probably seen it if you've watched some of our other videos. All right, so let's get this immersion blender going. All right, we got that all blended up. Well, you probably saw us putting a little bit of xanthan gum in there just a few minutes ago. My assistant Laura comes over, she added about a tablespoon per gallon is what we put in here. It just helps it from separating. So we're gonna now transfer this into our blenders, right? Because we have a blender, that's the next step. And what we use the blending process for is obviously to make it a little bit smoother, break down all the seeds and everything else. But we also use it to pasteurize. So this is an active fermentation. Active fermentation means if you bottle this and don't pasteurize it, kill all the bacteria basically, what's gonna happen is those bottles are gonna explode either where you open it or on your own, and you don't want that to happen. So let's grab something to put the blender and we'll get this going. These are 64 ounce containers, so in theory, should fit 2 gallons. I'm sorry, 1 gallon. Make sure you don't overfill the blenders. What will happen if you overfill the blenders is that as it heats up, it'll expand. Now, how am I gonna pasteurize with the blender? Well, I use these great Vitamix blenders back here. Put it on 10, and it takes about 8 to 9 minutes to get up to temperature. That temperature you're asking, 165 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 seconds. Gives you pasteurization, complete pasteurization. That way you can bottle it as a hot liquid, and we'll hot bottle it. We'll show you how to do that in a second. Let's get these blended. All right, we got it all blended up, ready to go. Let's get it in the hopper and get it bottled. I wish you could smell this. It smells absolutely amazing. here. Side. Love my bottling machine. The thing's absolutely fantastic. One of the things you want to do when you have one of these bottlers is the first one you fill up, I always put it back in the hopper. One of the things we do is we wash these very carefully and we sanitize them with Star San. The bottle's been washed and sanitized with Star San too. We're gonna get this dumped right back in here. First one always goes back. Thing can be a little noisy, but that's okay. Make sure you get it all the way filled up. Look at the color of that. It's absolutely gorgeous. What's going to happen is that's going to settle down. That's why you want to fill it up all the way. And we're going to put orifices on there. We use the large orifices. That way it doesn't spill out all over the place. And we got our lids. See this little white thing in here? That, when you first bottle them, you want to make sure you take it and put it upside down in a box for about 15 minutes. Super important. It creates a seal in there. All right. Now let me finish the rest of these up. All right, we got everything bottled. Now we got to get the labels on. I like my label machine. Listen, if you're only doing 20, 25 bottles, you can label by hand. We do hundreds at a time, so we like to have a couple of these labelers. Make sure you always tighten it before you do this. Put it in there. There's one. Foil caps, best place to get it is on Amazon. Buy 200 at a time. They're pretty inexpensive. Make sure you don't have any heat around them. They do shrink up very, very easily. By the way, this batch that we're making right now made 23 and a half bottles of hot sauce. 23 and a half. Would have been perfect 2 cases, but we ran a little bit short. Next thing, let me show you how to get these foil wraps on. This is the way I do it. Everybody seems to have their own way. Get your magic little heat gun right here. Let me grab the box. Gotta wait for the heat gun to heat up. I like to hold it down. Keeps it from raising up. Put it in there. Give it a quick twist, and you're done. Quick twist, and you're done. Upside down, quick twist, and you're done. And yes, we do all of our hot sauces like this. There's no machine that we own that does it for us. We do it all by hand. That's why I call it handcrafted hot sauce. All right, so we've got it bottled, we got it labeled, we got the foil package on it. It's the juice. Check out the color, check out the flavor. Try it out at atxhotsauce.com. Thanks for joining me on this video. We got tons of other stuff you can watch too, how to make some of our other hot sauces. But if you want a great, fruity, kind of a tropical feel hot sauce, this is the one, the juice. Guys, thanks. Subscribe below if you liked the video. See you next time.